The man passed away alone in a locked apartment. But what unsettled me wasn't the body, it was what he left written on the walls. August, 1993. Chicago was deep in a heatwave that made even the liars too tired to lie. I'd been on the job for 35 years, the kind of detective not easily shaken. But what I found in apartment 6B stayed with me like sweat in summer. The call came from a neighbor complaining about a smell. Said it was like something had gone wrong in there. He wasn't wrong. The tenant, a quiet accountant named Martin Greaves, hadn't been seen in days. When we opened the door, the air hit us like a wall, thick and heavy, the kind you don't forget. Martin was lying still in the middle of the living room, eyes open, arms by his side. But it wasn't the scene that froze us. It was everything else. Every surface in the apartment was covered in black marker writing. The walls, the lampshade, even the kitchen tiles. Tight, frantic handwriting, looping over itself like someone was racing against time. Something comes in the third hour. I saw her in the mirror. The first one was Levi. I'm not safe. No signs of forced entry. No visible injuries. Just Martin, alone, surrounded by what looked like a desperate attempt to communicate. My partner, Detective Carla Ramirez, made the call while I studied the writing. Hidden in the chaos were calmer lines, like someone had tried to make sense of it all. I am not alone in here. If I forget, the door opens. She's behind the mirror. We found his laptop in the corner. It was password protected, but tech support cracked it quickly. Inside were files that didn't match the life of a typical accountant, screenshots of unfamiliar ledgers, strange messages, and a single audio file titled, "If I Forget." Carla played it. Martin's voice came through, shaky, scared. If you're hearing this, I didn't make it. The numbers, they're not just numbers. Someone is watching. Through them. Through me. Then, 30 seconds of silence. And finally, a whisper. She's behind you. We both turned. The room was empty. Still, I felt something, like a cold breeze brushing past, even though no windows were open. We followed the trail from Martin's files. 3 local businesses kept popping up, a laundromat, a pawn shop, and a corner cafe. On the surface, they looked ordinary. But their financials told a different story, same deposits, same times every week. Too regular. Too precise. And one name kept showing up at all 3 places, Levi Gerardo. A handyman by title. But otherwise? He was a ghost. No digital footprint, no recent tax records. We tracked him down to a rundown duplex on the south side. When we knocked, he opened right away. "You're here about Martin," he said. He wasn't shocked. Just shaken. Levi claimed Martin had uncovered something he shouldn't have. That he'd been reading the numbers too long. That something, or someone, was watching him. Not stalking. Watching. Like through a mirror. He handed us a folder Martin had given him, in case anything happened. Inside were documents, photos, printouts, scribbled notes. One stuck with me. If I die, check the third hour. That's when the fire starts. We left Levi's place unsettled. Because this didn't feel like a simple death. Or even a clear crime. It felt like something else entirely. A warning. From someone who saw more than they were supposed to. Back at the precinct, we laid out everything from the folder. At first, it looked like chaos. But patterns began to surface, biblical references, timestamps, names, looping back to those same 3 businesses. Martin had discovered something. Something organized. Hidden. He hadn't gone to the police. Hadn't filed a report. Instead, he filled his walls with messages. Like someone trying to hold back a flood. Carla ran a deeper check on Levi. Turns out, he wasn't just a handyman. He was officially on the books for all three businesses, listed as equipment consultant. Which was strange, since none of those places had equipment worth consulting about. We figured he was a middleman. A cleaner. Someone meant to keep things looking normal. That night, we returned to the laundromat. It was after closing. Quiet. Machines buzzed faintly, like background noise in a dream. In the back office, we found a filing cabinet that didn't belong. It was locked. Carla got it open. Inside, ledgers. Real ones. Paper, ink, handwritten. Most were coded, but one section caught our attention. It was labeled, Mirror Watch. Each entry had a date, a time, and a room number. Always 3 a.m. Always different locations. And one of them. 6B. Same night Martin died. The same time he said, the fire starts. We brought the ledger to an old contact of mine, a retired codebreaker from back when I worked on a joint task force. He scanned the entries and said they weren't just random timestamps. They were schedules. Observation windows. Someone, somewhere, had built a system. Not just to watch people, but maybe even test them. Using reflections. Or the sense of being watched. Whatever it was intentional. Structured. Ongoing. And apartment 6B? Just one location among many. Then we found something chilling. Martin's laptop logs showed it had been remotely accessed, 2 nights before his death. Not by Levi. Not by anyone at the precinct. The signal traced back to a warehouse in Cicero. No signs, no staff, just a locked building full of machines quietly humming. We got a warrant. Inside, rows of outdated servers, still running. One room had dozens of monitors, each displaying live feeds from around the city. Side streets. Building lobbies. Underground garages. And one monitor was locked onto apartment 6B. It showed an empty living room. Still. Silent. Until the screen flickered. For a moment, just a split second, we saw him. Martin. Standing in the middle of the room. Staring directly at the camera. Then, black screen. We pulled the server logs. A file had run right before the feed cut. Its name. 3rd_hour_ protocol. It left behind one message before wiping itself. He waits in the 3rd hour. Carla didn't speak. She didn't need to. I saw it in her face. We weren't chasing a person. We were chasing a pattern. A presence. Something that lived inside systems, numbers, and reflections. Martin had found it. He tried to stop it, or at least slow it down. But now, it had turned its attention on us. Carla found more in the warehouse logs, a spreadsheet labeled, Pending Observations. Dates. Names. Addresses. One entry stood out. Carla Ramirez, 6B, scheduled, 3 a.m. She looked at me, eyes steady. We're going back. That night, we returned to Mapleview Apartments. Same yellow tape. Same cracked door. Same silence. Carla brought a recorder. I brought my sidearm, more out of habit than expectation. Inside apartment 6B, everything felt paused. The writing on the walls had faded, but the sense of it lingered. Heavy. We turned off the lights. Sat in the dark. And waited. At 2:59 a.m., the hallway lights flickered. At exactly 3 o'clock, the bathroom mirror cracked, one clean fracture, spreading slowly like frost on cold glass. Then came the sound. Scratching. But not from the mirror this time. From the hallway. I opened the door carefully, and standing there was a large, black dog. No collar. Wild eyes. Teeth bared. It lunged. Carla moved fast, stepping back just in time. I grabbed the nearest chair, blocked its path. It collided, snarling and snapping, then suddenly stopped. Its ears twitched. Its gaze shifted, past us, toward the bathroom mirror. And then it ran. Out the door. Down the stairs. Gone. We stood there, out of breath. I've dealt with K-9 units, aggressive strays, even trained guard dogs. But that wasn't normal. It wasn't there to attack. It was there to test us. The mirror. Still cracked. Still reflecting. But this time, it wasn't Martin we saw. It was us, only, wrong. A slight delay, like the reflection was thinking before copying. Carla leaned closer, whispered. "We see you." The glass trembled. Then cleared. The mirror looked normal again. But nothing about that room felt normal anymore. Back at the warehouse, the logs updated one final time. Observation, concluded. Subject, aware. Outcome, deferred. By morning, the building was empty. Wiped. Like it had never been there at all. We forwarded the files to a federal contact, quietly, no digital trail. We'd seen what happened to Martin. And Levi? He vanished. No trace since that night. A month later, someone new rented apartment 6B. He moved out after 2 nights. Said he couldn't sleep. Said he heard footsteps. Said his dog wouldn't stop barking at the bathroom mirror. Carla and I don't talk about it much. But some nights, around 3 a.m., I wake up. No reason. Just, awake. And every time, I avoid the mirror. Because I remember Martin's final words. Don't trust the mirrors. He wasn't warning us about ghosts. He was warning us about being watched. By something that only appears when you forget it exists. Something that waits. In the third hour.